dear viewers, welcome to my 4th video on articles. I've already made 3 videos on them earlier and I suggest you to go back and watch those if you haven't. Here in this video, we are going to look at omission of the article. Omission means to avoid or to skip using article. In our previous videos, we have learned when to use definite article the and when to use indefinite article a and an. Here we are going to look at when not to use any article. There are certain situations which require no article at all. We cannot put articles wherever we want. There are certain areas that do not require any article. So we are going to look at those areas one after the other. Now without further ado, let's get started with the first area which requires no article. The first situation says, do not use article before names of substances and abstract nouns. Now when I say substances and abstract nouns, they are uncountable nouns. Substances refer to materials, for instance, cotton, silk, or metals such as gold, copper, etc., which are not countable. Similarly, we should not use any article before abstract nouns. We all know what abstract nouns are. Abstract nouns are the nouns which do not have physical existence. We cannot touch, see, smell, or taste these nouns. They are basically ideas or concepts. For example, beauty, intelligence, happiness, kindness, honesty, wisdom, all of these are abstract nouns. And they cannot be counted in numbers. They are uncountable. You cannot say one beauty, 2 beauties, etc. So you don't use any article before these abstract nouns. And also the substances. Don't use any article before these if they are used in a general sense. Let us look at the examples here. In the first example, sugar is bad for your teeth. Sugar is the name of a substance and it is uncountable. You cannot count 1 sugar, 2 sugars. However, you can express its quantity by using quantitative adjectives, for example, some sugar, little sugar, etc. As it is uncountable, you cannot count sugar in numbers, you should not use any article. You cannot write a sugar. You cannot write the sugar because you're talking about sugar in a general sense. You're not giving any specific details about sugar. Any sugar is bad for your teeth. There is no need of any article before the name of the substance, sugar. Similarly, gold is a precious metal. Gold, we are talking about a substance. We cannot again count gold in numbers. There is no need of using any article before gold because we are talking about gold in a general sense. Honesty is the best policy. Honesty is an abstract noun. It does not have physical existence and it is obvious that it is uncountable noun. You cannot say a honesty. You cannot use the honesty as well. You're not giving specific details about this abstract noun honesty. This is used in a general sense. Kindness is the price we need to pay to live on earth. Kindness is again a quality. It is an abstract noun and it is used in a general sense. Whenever we use abstract nouns or the names of the substances, we don't use any article before them. However, we use articles before these substances and abstract nouns if they are used in a specific sense. Look at the examples here. In the first sentence, would you pass me the sugar? We looked at the rule which says we should not use any article before the substances or abstract nouns if they are used in a general sense. But here, there is definite article the before the name of the substance, sugar. Why do you think there is the here? Because when I ask, would you pass me the sugar? I'm talking about a specific sugar which is lying on the table. I'm not talking about any random sugar, the one which is present on the table. The speaker is aware and also the listener is aware of which specific sugar. Hence, the sugar here is used in a specific sense and that is the reason why we have used article before name of the substance. In the second sentence, I was touched by the honesty he had. Here we have used definite article the before abstract noun honesty because we are talking about a specific honesty which he displayed his honesty, not anybody's honesty, or we are not talking about honesty in a general sense. We are talking about honesty of a specific person. Hence we have used definite article the. In the third sentence, I can't forget the kindness with which he treated the baby. Kindness is used here in a specific sense. It is not used in a general sense. We are talking this person's kindness. So the meaning here has become specific. Hence we have used article before abstract nouns. I hope you have understood that we don't use any article before the names of substances and abstract nouns if they are used in general sense. However, we use articles before the names of substances and abstract nouns if we are using them in a specific sense. Now just look at the second area which requires no article. No article should be used before plural countable nouns used in general sense. Whenever there is a plural countable noun used in a general sense, not in specific but in a general sense, we don't use articles before such plural countable nouns. Let us look at the examples here. Children like chocolates. Children here is a common noun and it is plural. It is plural countable noun. We can count the number of children in numbers like 1 children, 100 children, etc. In this sentence, I have used the plural countable noun children in a general sense. When I say children like chocolates, I am not giving specific details about the noun children. Hence, I have not used any article. All children or children in general like chocolates. Hence, there is no use of any article before this noun. Similarly, computers are used in many offices. I have used the plural countable noun. Computers is again plural countable noun. We can always count computers. I have used this noun in a general sense. There is no specific information given about the noun computers. Hence, there is no need of any article. However, to explain you better, I have used the same nouns, but here I have used them in a specific sense, and I have placed article before them. Let us look at those situations. I have used the before children. The children of Gates Avenue like chocolates. In our previous example, I said children like chocolates. I am not giving specific information about children, hence I did not place any article. But here, the children of Gates Avenue, here I am talking about specific children. Children belonging to Gates Avenue like chocolates. That is why I have used definite article the here. Similarly, the computers of my office are not functioning. I am not talking about any random computers. I am talking about specific computers of my office. Hence, I have used the before the plural countable noun computers. Let us now look at the third rule or the third area which requires no article. Now the third rule is that I've been talking about even in my previous videos. We don't use article before most proper nouns such as names of people, names of continents, countries, cities, individual mountains, lakes, hills, etc. You don't use any article before proper nouns. I told you when we use the United States of America, article is not with the proper noun America, it is with states. I don't know if you remember. I gave you the reasons as well. The article is never used with the proper noun. It is always used with a common noun, or it is used with the proper noun acting as a common noun. You don't use article before the names of continents. For example, you don't say the Europe, the Asia, the North America, the South America, etc. You don't use articles before the names of the countries such as the America, the India. You don't use articles because they are proper nouns. And you don't use articles even with the names of cities. For example, you don't say the Hyderabad, the London, the New York, etc. because again they are proper nouns. Similarly, when you talk about the individual mountains, when you refer to individual mountain using its name, you don't use any article before it because the name again is a proper noun. You don't use article with proper nouns. Let us look at the fourth area which requires no article. Do not use articles before names of meals. Alright, the fourth rule says we should not use any article before the names of meals. For example, lunch, dinner, breakfast. We don't say the lunch, the dinner if these are used in a general sense. However, if we are talking about these meals in a specific sense, then we use articles before them. We had dinner quite early today. I have used the noun dinner in a general sense. There is no specification given about what kind of dinner. There was no need of placing any article here. In the second example, we have breakfast around 10 a.m. Again, there is no article before the name of the meal, breakfast, because there is no specific detail given about breakfast here. I prefer rice in lunch. I have not written I prefer rice in the lunch because lunch, again, I have used in a general sense, not any specific sense. There was no need of placing article before the names of the meals because in three of these examples, I have used them in a general sense. Look at the other examples here. The dinner we had at the restaurant was so delicious. I'm talking about a specific dinner we had at the restaurant. Hence, I have used definite article. Do you remember the lunch she cooked for us? Here I have used definite article the before the meal lunch because I'm not talking about any random lunch. I'm talking about a specific lunch which she cooked for us. I prefer an early breakfast, and this article is not with early because early is adjective and we don't use articles with adjectives. An is always with the noun. Article is always with the noun. An early breakfast. I prefer an early breakfast means I'm giving more detail about breakfast. What kind of breakfast? An early breakfast. Let us now look at the fifth area that requires no article. Do not use articles before languages. Whenever we talk about languages, we don't use articles before them. Look at the examples here. She can speak French and Russian. French and Russian are the names of the languages. I have not written any article before the names of languages, again because these are proper nouns. French is the name of a specific language. It is a proper noun and we don't use articles with proper nouns. She can write in Chinese, Latin and German. There is no need of any article before these language names because all these are proper nouns. We can't say she can speak the French or a French. Similarly, we can't say she can write in the Chinese or in a Chinese, etc. Let us now look at the sixth area which requires no article. Do not use articles before school, college, university, church, bed, hospital, prison, when these places are visited or used for their primary purpose. Whenever we talk about a school, college, university, church or bed, hospital, prison, we should not use any article before them if they are used for their primary purpose. Now we all know why we go to school. To study. That is the primary and obvious reason of going to a school. If these nouns are used for their obvious reasons or their primary uses, then we do not use articles. However, if they are used in specific sense or if they are used in some other use other than their obvious purpose, then we use articles. Let us look at the examples here. She learned Russian in school. When it is a school, it is obvious that we go to school to learn something. That is the primary purpose of going to a school. We have used noun school for its obvious reason, for its obvious purpose, to learn something. Hence, there is no need of using any article before the noun school. He was admitted in hospital. Again, we have used noun hospital for its obvious purpose. Why does a person visit a hospital? Either to be admitted or to have a random checkup or to see a doctor. Here, hospital is used for its obvious reason. Hence, there is no need of using article. He was put in prison for killing a lady. Why does a person goes to a prison? Person goes to a prison for committing a crime. That is the obvious reason or the purpose of going to prison. We have not used any article before the noun prison. He was put in prison for killing a lady. Because the purpose of going to prison is obvious. He committed a crime, he went to prison. However, if we use these nouns for the reasons which are not obvious, then we use article before them. Look here. The school is away from the bus stop. I have used the here because I am using the noun school not for its primary reason. I am using it in some other sense here. In my previous example, I have used the noun school for its primary purpose. What is the purpose of going to school? To learn something. But here, I have not used school for its primary reason. I have used in some other sense. The school is away from the bus stop. I am talking about the location of the school. Hence, I have used definite article. His friends went to the hospital to pay him a surprise visit. Here the friends did not go to hospital for obvious reason. They did not go to have a checkup or they did not go to get admitted in the hospital. They went to visit their friend. The reason of going to hospital is not obvious here. Hence we have used definite article. His mother went to see him in the prison. We have used definite article the before prison. Why? Because the purpose of going to prison is different. His mother did not commit a crime. She went to see him, to visit her son. His mother went to see him in the prison. We don't use articles before school, college, university, church, bed, hospital, prison, if the purpose of visiting these places is obvious. However, if we are using these places for some other reason or in some other sense, we use articles before them. Look at the seventh situation which requires no article. We do not use articles before names of relations like father, mother, even nurse and cook. Now you must be wondering, why shouldn't we use article with nurse and cook? Because they are not relatives. Even though they are not related through blood, they are still considered as the immediate family members. Nurse is unique to that house and cook is unique to that house. They are considered as immediate family members after father, mother, aunt, uncle, etc. We do not use articles before names of relations. We don't say the father, the mother, the nurse, the cook. Look at the examples here. Cook is great in baking cakes. We don't say the cook is great in baking cakes because it is obvious that which cook we are talking about. There is no need of article here. Nurse looks after the old lady. It is obvious which nurse. We don't need any article before it. Father left for New York. It is obvious that I'll not be talking about somebody else's father. I'm talking about my father. Father left for New York. Mother cooked for us today. Now it is obvious that I'm not talking about somebody else's mother. I'm talking about my mother. There is no need of using article before the names of relations. Pay attention at the 8th area which requires no article. Do not use articles before predicative nouns denoting a unique position. That is, a position that is normally held at one time by one person only. Predicative means part of predicate. When I write a sentence, there are two parts to a sentence. Let's take an example of this simple sentence. He is my father. He is the subject and the rest of the sentence along with the helping verb and object makes our predicate. You take any sentence, whatever comes after the subject, whatever information comes after the subject becomes our predicate. Now that you have understood what is predicate, let us look at the example here. He was elected chairman of the board. Subject here is he and whatever information is after he, this part is our predicate. The rule says, do not use articles before predicative nouns denoting a unique position. This is our predicate, and can you identify a predicative noun When I say predicative noun, the noun which is in the predicate part of the sentence. The noun should denote a unique position. Chairman here is a noun and it is a unique position. We don't use article before predicative noun. Chairman here is a part of predicate, hence it is a predicative noun. And it is a unique position, which means it is a position that is normally held at one time by one person only. There cannot be 10 chairmans. Hence we don't use article before these predicative nouns. He was elected chairman of the board. We don't say he was elected a chairman or the chairman. Mr. Banerjee became principal of the college in 1995. Mr. Banerjee is the subject, and whatever information comes after the subject becomes our predicate. The whole part from became to 1995 is our predicate. Can you identify a predicative noun which is a unique position? Obviously, it's a position of a principal. Again, there cannot be 10 principals to an organization. It is a unique position. It is a predicative noun because it is in predicate part of the sentence. Position of the principal is unique, and this position is normally held at one time by one person. We don't use any article before such predicative nouns. That was all for today's video. I hope it was useful, and we shall practice articles in our upcoming video. Until then, goodbye and take care.